You know what I'm worried about most with the Warriors? It's not their defense. I think their defense is going to be fine.
Why? Oh, go get to it.
Because I'm giving them that. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
It's a long season. They know that the important games don't happen till April, May, June. So it's hard to ask Curry and the big boys to lock down defensively in October. I'm a little worried about Klay Thompson. That's the guy I'm worried about.
I thought we talked about this.
We have. But he's got to be as good as last year for them to win it all. Don't you think? Like, here's the way. If you remember the way he came back. Remember he came back and he just jacked left
we talked.
and right?
I loved it. Yeah.
And he was just getting his legs under him.
Spray Klay.
But I really do think, that if you take a big step back, you would have to be pretty satisfied as a Warrior fan what Klay did last year.
No doubt.
Okay. Like, he was a part of that, no doubt about it.
Even usage, minutes played.
Yes. That's why I'm concerned that he's where he's at now. And I guess what I'm saying is I just thought he'd kind of pick up where he left off.
Right.
But clearly the fact that he didn't play this summer's hurt his conditioning.
Yeah. Okay.
And he alluded to a mental aspect of it also. And I don't know. I'm a little worried about Klay. That's all. I'm just
okay.
If he's the player he was the first 7 games, they're not going to win it. Now, it's easy to say, Stein, that's what shut up. He's had 7 bad games.
No,
you're right.
Yeah.
I get it. But he's got to get back to where he was last year.
And he's given us.
And I don't know that he can.
I don't want to speak for you, Steiny, but my ears are hearing you say a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think the fact that he let the world in on how he was heard about the Barkley comments?
Yeah.
So there's a gauge. He's earned everything the Warriors are giving him, but I feel like you're saying something else to me. If we said forget about the past, is he better than Jordan Poole right now? Should he be starting? And I'm not saying it's about that, but the reality is it's not a scholarship because Klay's earned everything he's gotten. But do you think you undersold or anybody out there undersold him getting back to old Klay as opposed to if he doesn't get back to old Klay, what that means in the meantime?
I don't know.
Because I can make a case for you right now. I'm wondering, and just no shade at Klay, Steiny. Should Jordan Poole, are the Warriors better if Poole was starting right now? Forget the past.
Well, let's go back to.
Okay,
let's go back to.
I believe that's something.
Okay, let's go back to March of this year, end of the regular season. Whereas we're heading into the playoffs. This is what Steve Kerr said when there was consternation about Klay Thompson.
Anybody who says that I might have to take him out of the closing lineup clearly doesn't understand real coaching. Real coaching is not, let's draw up this great play for Klay Thompson to get a shot. Real coaching is communicating with your players every day and feeding them confidence and treating them with respect and collaborating with them. If I went to Klay Thompson and said, "Oh yeah, you're not in the closing lineup anymore," are you kidding? Like what the hell are we even talking about? So it sounds great on paper if he's struggling and everybody wants to everyone's got their solution. Oh, yeah. But these are human beings and they're not robots and so my belief in our players is a huge part of coaching. And I will ride with Klay forever.
So he'll ride with Klay forever.
And I said that last year, too.
And that sounds great.
Right. But do you really mean it? No, he does. That's gangster right there. And I tried to just paint a scenario 2 seconds ago about the past don't matter, but it does. And you know what, Steiny? I respect her even more. I respect what Klay's done. That will never happen, and that's why we were talking about would Curry want to win it, Durant coming back when that was, there were whispers of that. They don't want to do it without each other, and I just checked myself on that, man. I respect. He just said, "What would that look like? What would
I know
even
what
if
it
it
would
made
look like.
sense on paper?" what he's meant and done, I'm going to go to my guy and say, you know what?
So I hear what you're saying, but so does that mean
checking myself
does that mean you would watch Klay struggle in fourth quarter after fourth quarter?
He's earned it, though, man.
How long?
As long as
the whole season?
We can go down with it. Right. There's a word called loyalty.
Okay, that gets you beat. Loyalty can get you beat. And here's what I'm getting at. Here's a larger picture I'm getting at.
That's deep. It can, but you feel good about it.
It's a larger issue to me. The Spurs. We talk about the Spurs dynasty. How do you keep a dynasty going? Well, you need to replace the veterans with great young players, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's something else that has to happen. And that is the stars, the core players, must be willing to become role players. Manu Ginobili went to the bench. Tim Duncan scaled back his game, okay? As Kawhi Leonard got there.
Right.
A guy like Carmelo Anthony made no adjustments. Right. I'm not comparing. I'm just saying different way.
We're not there yet, though. Klay is telling you.
What I'm saying is Steph Curry came off the bench last year in the playoffs. Maybe the best player in the league said, I'll come off the bench. All right? Draymond Green, for whatever it matters, okay? For whatever it matters.
Throw a fit.
He's going to play hard this year because he wants to opt out and get a new contract. So to me, the big issue is Klay. Can Klay reach the level that he's played at in the past? Because I don't know that they can win it all if he's not that guy.
How confident are you that he can?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried just because of
it's real, man.
I get real. Like, here's the thing. I give these guys all the championship pedigree in the world because they have it. There's just no doubt about it. But there's another side, and that's these two injuries to Klay are no joke. And maybe, rehab and getting stronger is coinciding with getting older, and he might not be able to push through to become, I don't know. But it's something that we've got to watch.
Yeah.
Where is, like, Curry? Okay. It looks like Curry and Draymond can still play at a pretty high level.
No doubt.
Whether it's as high or Klay. And by the way, the last 5 games of last season in the playoffs, his shooting, it's we're only 7 games in. But his last 5 games of the playoffs last year he shot the ball atrociously. He shot 30% from the field in those games. So please don't take this as I'm saying Klay's done, because I would never say that. But I think it's absolutely fair. I think it's absolutely fair to monitor his game and hopefully it continues to get better as the season goes on.
You know what? And it's beyond fair. My thing to you and anybody listening, no matter how it goes, if it were to get worse, if it was to get bad, if it were to get ugly, Steve Kerr just told you nothing will be done. That man will ride out this season as a starting 2 guard for the Dubs.
In fairness, good point from Drew Down on the YouTube. Did Kerr not bench Dre in the finals? Yeah, I guess he did. And you wouldn't have dreamed of doing that. So that's a fair point from Drew Down, meaning we never would have thought he would have taken Draymond off the floor in crunch time, and he did. So I guess if he had to, even though he made those strong statements.
But you know what? You know why I feel good about this whole thing about Klay? He, even when he's healthy, we've done the pre and post game. I always remember that. He always notoriously gets off to slow starts.
I'll give you some of those numbers in a sec. Go ahead.
No, so that's what has me like, okay, that's why I'm not as worried. I'm not worried. Dude, I'm worried about the team defense more than Klay Thompson getting back. And if Klay was at a 90, can you get to 84% of that 90?
And that's what I'm saying.
Rolling. But if it's 74 or 5, then, Steiny, we're not the same team.
See, I actually think, like, when we talk about 5 percentage points, 10 percentage points, and I know we're all just guessing. Yeah. Nobody knows.
Like gambling.
10%? That's not good. That's a big drop to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they can afford 10%. Okay, Klay Thompson. Here's a great stat about Klay Thompson. Over the course of his career, and this is a good one for Warrior fans, because this is where Warrior fans can say, Steiny, see, shut up. During the course of Klay Thompson's career, in October, 33 games over the course of his career, all the October games.
Okay, wow.
He shot 34% from three-point range. 34%.
Below career average. Yeah.
Every month after that, November, December, January, February, March, April, he shot at least 40% in each of those months.
And it's the first today.
Correct.
They got a game.
Absolutely.
Wow, okay. Right.
Correct. So he has started, although he's shooting 28% from three, not 34.
All right, but okay.
So there you go. And yes, that's why I brought it up. It's November 1st,
No
baby.
doubt. Right. This is a big month for him.
You know it.
Now, if we get another 28 or 33, then what you're saying just gets louder and it becomes real.
I think so.
Yeah, but nothing will be done. And it's like the mob movies and why I keep watching them. Cooley High, why I like the Whispers and New Edition groups, because there is that loyalty element, Steiny, and maybe you don't get to the mountaintop, but you don't get to the mountaintop by being loyal, and you wouldn't trade it. You know what I mean? You wouldn't do it any different to disappoint. You know what I'm saying?
No, I actually don't know what you're saying, because it kind of sounds a little like you're willing to ride with the guys who got the 4 rings, even if it costs you a 5th.
And that's what I'm saying.
Well, I think that's ridiculous if you have a chance to win 5.
I wouldn't do that to my comrade.
Okay, let's
and I'm being so real, Steiny.
Right, so let's okay. So Klay Thompson is off to a bad start.
Gotcha.
November looks a little better. Now we're in March, and Klay Thompson, it has now become obvious, is not the player he was. You're going to keep playing Klay 30 minutes and starting him when you have a guy like Jordan Poole who is ready. And by the way, quite frankly, as bad as Poole's defense is,
right,
it's not as there's not as big a gap between he and Klay as there used to be.
Yeah, Steiny, I mean it.
Tough decisions coaches have to make them. If Steve Kerr has to make it, I think he'll make it.
And you know what? I don't think it would be in season. The 2 seasons and the almost 1,000 days of this man, Klay Thompson, not being part of the organization. See, that's still part of the story. That's not on the court, but to the people that care, to the people that have the power to minimize his minutes or whatnot, he's got that. And I hate to use the word scholarship. He's earned that. So maybe something in the offseason would be done for 2024 season, Steiny, but I just don't, no matter how ugly this got, and especially hearing that soundbite, Steiny, I don't see. Now, if Klay said, you know what, I need to go to the bench, coach.
Well, he would never do that.
We don't know.
Yeah, I know.
We don't know.
I feel like I know that. And I know I'm being arrogant, and I'm doing it for a reason, because I don't really know. But this is the guy who said, I ain't sacrificing S.
Right. But that was when health was on 1,000, and I am, I'm the best version of myself.
How's Klay going to, just a question.
Yeah.
What does it look like Klay falling into a role player type role? What does that look like?
We could be watching it now.
Well, see, that's the point. I don't think he's prepared for that right now. You don't want to be a role player.
And that's a heavy thought. But I'll tell you this. If I were Klay and you talk about we're all the way in March and we know that he cares and what he's sharing with us, what's going on inside and upstairs with us just about, Barkley's take, my thing is I'll call him proud. We're all proud. But, Steiny, if I felt like I couldn't get back to that level, I would go to Kerr and Myers and say, let's try this for my psyche, as opposed to them, getting close to make it. Do you think fans would? Well, we had it last year.
Klay Thompson,
or was that you and me?
Hasn't come off the bench since his rookie year under Mark Jackson.
But things are so different.
He started every single game of his Warrior career, starting in year 2.